Well, next up, we have the epitome of a brilliant partnership. So this session is called The Role Brands Play in Supporting Grassroots Esports and the Value of Brand Partnerships in the Community. So please welcome to the stage from National Student Esports, their Head of Partnerships, Sam Hibbert, and from Monster Energy, Director of Marketing GB and Ireland, Richard Pilbeam. Tell me if I've said that wrong. Sam, if you'd like to come up and join me at the lectern, I know you've got a presentation.
Hi, thanks everyone for joining. I'm just going to show you a case study of our partnership activation with Monster, but to do that I probably have to give you a bit of background on NSE. So kind of really quickly, who we are. So I'm Sam, I'm Head of Partnerships at NSE, so what that means is I look after our commercial sponsors, our publisher relationships, and a few other things. I've worked at NSE for 3 years now, as well as working at Belong and the Insomnia Gaming Festival before that as well, joined by Richard.
For Monster across GB and Ireland.
Fantastic. So who are NSE? So we're National Student Esports. We run the British University Esports Championship. 1,700 teams competed in the last academic year, which is a record for us, especially kind of during COVID, so it was great to see the engagement there. We are the official body of university esports in the UK through our partnership with Bucks. If you don't know who Bucks are, they're British University College Sport. They are the national governing body for university sport. So we have a kind of long-term agreement with Bucks there as well. 100 universities compete in the British University Esports Championship, and about 70% of that, the player base in terms of the degrees that they're studying, are STEM subjects. So that gives us a kind of unique approach to some of our partnerships as well there. As you can see on the slide, we work with publishers directly with some white label activations, so Nintendo, Riot Games and Ubisoft, we've activated with those guys before, and then our partners, Monster, Intel and Barclays. And the images on screen there are from our last physical event about a year and a half ago, so we're looking forward to get back to those in the future. So who are we? We're kind of different for different people, basically. So for students, everything that we do, it has a student-first approach. We are the home of university esports. We are the hub of the community. We help them make friends at university for their societies, and we also kind of enable them to develop some soft skills at university, which they can then take on to their future careers. For partners like Monster, we deliver direct engagement to the grassroots audience. It's an authentic activation, and I'll kind of show you how that actually comes about, and what that actually means in a second. For publishers, we can provide instant access again to that community and get the games in front of people as well. And for academic institutions like universities, we help them create on-campus experiences links to esports. So we're not in the business of designing esport degrees, but we're there to kind of help institutions kind of create activity for their students to take part in on campus and drive recruitment that way as well. But really important, across everything that we do, we believe in a student-first approach, and everything else will kind of come together. So NSE and Monster Energy, how we work together. So Monster Energy are one of our partners on the British University Esports Championship. We've created some really amazing activations with Monster. So Monster Plays is something that we've worked on together. Monster Plays is essentially the top 5 clips from the British University Esports Championship each week. They'll be submitted to us, and then we pick 5. Students vote on their number 1 clip, and then they win a Monster Energy Black Card, which is unlimited Monster for a year. So it's just crazy how mad the students go for that. But it's actually got to the point now with the Monster Plays, when they submit their clips to this, that they're screaming, "Oh my God, that was a Monster Play, that was a Monster Play, I want to submit this." That's the level of integration we have now with this audience, and it's only really been going for about 2 years at activation. And then it wouldn't be a presentation in the modern day without mentioning coronavirus and the pandemic, but when that kind of all started last year, we wanted to give students a kind of way to, to not feel lonely, to meet other students, to give them more reason to play and compete outside of the championship. So with Monster, we teamed up and we worked on the NSE Stay at Home series, which was all about incentivizing them to stay at home during lockdown and play and earn Monster cans as part of that as well. So that was a really successful activation, and that's now in its 2nd year. What that looks like next year, whether it's the not Stay at Home series and we do a physical event or something something, we're going to look at that. But that was really successful for us. The opportunity for brands in terms of the grassroots esports community. So it goes without saying, active players. We have about 20,000 students in the UK that are competing, engaging with each other on a day-to-day basis, not just to be the best, but from a social aspect as well, and to making friends. Brands can really add value to the students themselves as well. So whether that is giving them more ways to play or to win Monster Energy cans, whether with Intel we do a leadership program, and with Barclays we actually host a game jam competition. So they can really add value at quite a unique level. It's credible and authentic. You're not just putting a logo against the competition. We create these activations with the brands to make sure that they hit home with the students and that they actually really buy into the brand and they can see that they're adding value to what they're doing. It's a great space to test and learn. So before the brands go out and spend millions and millions of pounds on a jersey kind of logo with a big team, they can use this audience to kind of test and learn with activations. And it's cost efficient as well. I'm not going to give you a rate card for what we do, but it's again, we're not charging millions and millions of pounds for these activations. So how does this manifest? This was the NSE Unleashed campaign that we did over the summer. Simply, you could win some Monster cans by getting creative with a Monster Energy can and tweeting it on Twitter. And we had just under 300 submissions in 2 weeks. And some people came up with some really amazing kind of creative submissions. So from artwork to the chap there with holding the can at the bottom, he did a David Attenborough impression of finding like Monster Energy can in the woods, and that was his submission. Music we had entered. There's some weird ritual going on with Monster Energy cans at the well there as well. But this just shows the kind of brand love and the authentic activation that really hits home as well. And then some more examples of artwork as well, memes created, all sorts. And you can't get this just by putting a logo on a tournament. It has to actually mean something and add value to students, and this is what you get in return. So that's the case study, and that's me done. So I'll sit down.
A chair has miraculously appeared.
Cheers, fantastic.
I mean, Richard, tell me a little bit about, obviously, Monster does feel like a really great fit for gaming, doesn't it? But why in particular this audience, this university audience?
Yeah, well, I think, first of all, the main reason why we partnered with NSC and what was the point of today about being a credible and an authentic partnership is a lot of brands try to target X audience, but actually you're not targeting them in the right way or at the right time relevant. So with us, the product obviously enables people to have energy, enables you to game longer. So actually, like these pictures and everything Sam's just said, this is a perfect way for us to not just target the right audience, but to target them at the right time and at the right place. So a lot of brands will try and force a product, like we need to target the gaming audience, and then you'll force X product onto them, but actually is it remotely relevant to the people and at the time you're targeting them? So for us, it's been nuts in lockdown. I think it was like 15,000 cans we were able to put on the students' desks whilst they're at home gaming. So for us, it was a great way to actually enable people to create that need for that product. And especially a lot of brands were just talking about saying, like Nike did an amazing above-the-line TV advert saying we need you more than ever, stay at home. But actually, I feel some brands weren't really doing anything to enable people to do that. So for us, actually, we created that stay-at-home series. We enabled people to do what we wanted them to do, and then we gave them the product to help them game during it. So,
Sam, for you, what makes a great brand partnership? Because I think, as we kind of discussed before, authenticity is key with any gaming audience. They're very particular. They will instantly call something cringe and then it's ruined forever. But I feel like a university audience is even harder. They're right at that age where it literally is changing every day. Something's cool one day, it isn't the next. So what makes a great brand partnership with your organisation?
Well, obviously this example was fantastic, but one of the things that made it great was Monster Energy actually listened to NSE. So usually you'll have a brand come in and they'll have an objective and they want to get to that kind of objective, and regardless of the way you get there. But actually, what's great about Monster Energy and us is that it is teamwork. So Richard will have his objective, and we'll help him get that, and he'll trust us to make the right decision because he knows that we understand our audience. In order to be authentic as well, you have to be in it for the long run. So we're in a quite good position where we can turn away brands that just want to come in for a month and disappear again. We say no. Actually, no. You've got to be in it for at least a year, multiple years. Otherwise, you're not going to see that return on investment. The students as well are going to be completely aware that you've just come in, slapped a badge on it, and gone away again. And they are really open to that. But so they are really aware of that. So I think listen to the agency that you work with, whether that is an NSC, a tournament operator, and be in it for the long run. Don't dip your toe in. Literally commit.
I think it's more being seen as a partnership rather than a sponsorship. If we just came and chucked the logo and didn't do this is not a naive audience. They 100% see through it. Yeah. And exactly what Sam said, you don't buy a dog to then bark yourself. Like, if we're giving these guys money, we trust them, so it's let them run with it. So it's almost that when we have our meetings, it's like, right, what the hell do you want to do? We have no idea what we're doing. Let's see where this goes. So it's just get the right people on the bus and then figure out where it's going to go later on.
So I want to finish with a quick question for you, Richard. With that in mind, you've trusted them, you've found your audience. Something I've asked a lot today, but I'm interested in what success looks like for you, particularly when, Sam is saying to you, this is a multi-year thing, don't come in for a month. When do you think, okay, this is working for us? Yeah,
I think for us, just being very simple, what we sell is a fizzy carbonated drink in a can. So success, some people can get kind of distracted being like, oh, we're enabling people to do this, or we're all this kind of creative views on what success should be. But for us, looking at those pictures and the fact that there's over 300 people sat in their room, created artwork or interacted with us, and as Sam said earlier, they started actually creating memes or GIFs and stuff, and there's if the cans don't deliver on time, then they've got these waiting memes and things. So it's actually kind of because you're so embedded that you don't have to be leading the conversation. So for us, I think just us being relevant within our target audience whilst they're having a conversation without us having to force it upon them. So yeah, I think just being relevant to the target audience rather than forcing it onto them.
Absolutely. I feel like that's a really perfect definition from a brand perspective in this space. That feels exactly right. Well, thank you so much again. Really insightful. Lots, I think, that's actually practically useful there. So can we have a huge round of applause for Richard and Sam? Thank you so much, both of you.